Well, I grew up in New England household where, John F. Kennedy, Richard Cardinal Cushing, and Ted Williams were the big figures. If you were a Catholic family in Massachusetts like we were, and just hearing about Ted Williams, my brother was a great baseball player, and I heard about Ted Williams, and my dad had an autograph. He met him on a plane. He agreed to switch seats, I'm sure, so Ted could be near some good-looking woman, and had Ted sign his Eastern Airlines ticket. It was a family, just this treasure we had in the house. So, I come to become a baseball writer, and you'd see Ted at spring training, and you'd be afraid of him and not go near him or approach because he's loud and he's boisterous, but he had the gravitas, and I didn't get to be around him except for viewing him from afar at spring training. I remember going to Cooperstown. They'd have a tables for the Hall of Fame players on the day after the ceremony. Bob Feller table, Joe DiMaggio table, Whitey Ford table, Ted Williams table. I'll sit here. Ted sits down, there's 6 or 8 of us, and no one dares start. And he did. He looked around, he goes, "You're scared to death, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." And then we started, and he was great. He could deliver. So fast forward to 1993, and I'm just coming up on 40 years old, and our 8-year-old daughter is diagnosed with leukemia, and it was a bomb for any family. It still is, always will be. But in 1993, it's particularly bad because a lot of the children don't survive, and the metrics are bad, and the history has been bad, and it's just a wildly scary time takes over your life. And I'm in the hospital with my 8-year-old daughter, who's beginning treatment right away at Children's and the Jimmy Fund. Excuse me, and the phone, Kate was like, she was starting to lose her hair, and she was getting sickly, but it's not really taken hold yet how bad the treatment's going to make her feel. And the phone rings, and she's on the phone, and she says, "Daddy, there's a loud man on the phone telling me everything's going to be okay." And I tell her, "Hey, it's Ted Williams. You tell that little girl I'll come up and see her. I knew Dr. Farber, and he always said we're going to cure those kids someday, and God damn it, we're doing it now, and I'll come visit her sometime, and I hope she likes baseball and softball and all this stuff," and just on and on. It was just so supportive, and I'm like, wow, that was Ted Williams, and I explained to Kate who that was, and he did. He followed through. Anytime I could call him, he just wanted to ask about Kate. He had a real thing for the unfairness of children with cancer. His brother had died of cancer at a much older age, but Ted took on the Jimmy Fund cause in the 50s, and really patron saint of that cause. And Dr. Farber, they did know him, and he would do anything for the Jimmy Fund, and he was reluctant to put a tie on or to do fundraising or to meet and greets, but he would do it for the Jimmy Fund. That was real, and that's one of the reasons there's a tunnel for Ted Williams. It's not just great hitter, it's pioneer for the Jimmy Fund, serving his country in 2 wars, flying 39 combat missions in Korea. All that stuff's real. So our family benefited from having that relationship, and you can go to Google Kate Shaughnessy, HBO, and there's little snips on there about what they had. It wasn't a lot, but when he did come here, we went to the hotel, the Four Seasons, and we hung out. And at one point, I was with Stan Grossfeld down in Hernando doing a book. Ted was doing the forward for a book we wrote on Fenway, and he was great. And he started talking about Kate and softball. She was a teenager then. And he started asking about college, and he says, "College, that costs a lot now, doesn't it?" I'm like, "Yeah, look out below, Ted." He goes, "Well, you check it out. You make sure she goes the best place she can go, and I'll help you if I can." So now Ted Williams, he had no idea how much it costs. I would never call him on that one, but it was just such a wonderful thing for him to just say something like that. And it was really, it was always, how's your base, how's your softball going? Can you hit? Talking about that. And when your child has cancer, that's pretty much all you think about. And so the notion that Ted Williams, one of the gods of New England, was supportive and was there at the other end of the phone and had reached out to us and raised his hand to just be part of that journey. It was really nice, and as Kate got older and healthier, for her to have that. She worked at the Twin Souvenir Store as a BU kid, and I remember she had a Ted Williams shirt that she got for Christmas, and she wore it to the store the day he died, just randomly. She said, "I think I'll wear this today to the store." And then I called her at the store, and yeah, Ted died today. She said, oh, I can't wear the shirt today. So it really felt like she felt some cosmic connection to the greatest hitter who ever lived. It was good.